Hey guys, good morning. Or good afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. I just want to go over chapter 2 with y'all. As a dental assistant, we are known as a professional. So, um, in highlighted, professionalism is an attitude that is apparent in everything you do and say in and out of the dental office. Professionalism is what distinguishes us from people who have a job to those who actually pursue a career. So we are pursuing a career. We just don't have a job, we have a career. The public expectations of healthcare, workers are higher than expectations of individuals in other occupations. Um, you'll notice that when you start wearing your scrubs and you go out in public, that you're going to be treated a little different because we are a professional, and when we wear scrubs or when we have our scrubs on, um, people know that we take healthcare seriously, that we are in the healthcare industry. The dental assistant who has a professional appearance promotes the patient's confidence in the entire office, which is so true. Have y'all ever gone to a doctor's office and the girl that comes to get you, she's like, Cindy, and her hair's a mess, her scrubs are wrinkled, and you're like, okay, and you go back with her, and then you see this bubbly other assistant that's all bubbly and cute, and you're like, okay, can I have the bubbly and cute one rather than the one that looks like she doesn't care about herself? Because if she doesn't care about herself, how is she going to care about me? That's the way I look at it. Number 2, good grooming. And number 3, appropriate dress. So making sure your scrubs aren't wrinkled. And good grooming, I'm a huge stickler on the way that we look. So if you wear makeup every day, you should wear makeup every day. Do your hair. Don't wear one of those messy buns, one of those little top knot thingies. Don't go to work with your hair wet. Look like you care about yourself, and then your patients will know that you care about them because patients come number 1. Teamwork. Have this highlighted. Teamwork is extremely important in the dental office. Think of the letters in the word team. Together, everyone accomplishes more. And that is so true. Um, think of if you played sports in high school. As a team, the goal was to win. So you all had to work together to get to that goal. Same thing in the dental office. We all have to work together to make sure that our patients are comfortable. Um, and so, teamwork. Together, everyone accomplishes more. Attitude. Try to be positive. I know we have bad days sometimes, but try to be positive. Okay. Dedication. Remember, patients don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that is so true. Um, dedication. Say a patient comes in, it's 4 o'clock, and y'all are supposed to leave at 5, and they busted a tooth out. Well, you be that assistant that says, hey, I'll stay, because the doctor's going to notice that you stayed, that you care. Um, and, you know, if you are the person that isn't going to stay, at least ask the person that is staying, hey, before I leave, is there anything I can help you with? Or is there anything you need? And they might be like, yeah, let me go to the bathroom. I'm going to be here another 2 hours. So they're not going to go, hey, yeah, why don't you stay? No, they've already volunteered to stay, but try to be that person because you will run over in the dental office sometimes. You're not always going to get out of there right at 5 or whenever you're supposed to get off. So taking initiative. Responsible party, responsibility, sorry, responsibility and initiative. Uh, yes, uh, try to be as helpful as you can. Yes, you're going to have other assistants that aren't going to want to help you, but just help them, you know. I always say, smile, smile, smile. It's contagious, isn't it? Yeah. So, staying for the full shift, not asking to leave early, um, of course, arriving on time. Now, in the dental office, some of your offices might have what's called a morning huddle. Your morning huddle, excuse me, I got a cough. The morning huddle, it would be y'all look over the schedule. The whole office looks over the schedule, and say someone's coming in a wheelchair, then y'all would say, okay, op 2 would be best for Mr. Jones because he's in a wheelchair. So it's like 15 minutes before the office actually opens, and y'all have a morning huddle, and that helps the day go smoother. So confidentiality, HIPAA. If you go to the dental office, if you go to the doctor's office, you're going to fill out this HIPAA form. It just says that nobody, not your mom, not your dad, not your sister, not your husband, boyfriend, nobody can see your personal information unless you fill out a form saying that they can. Now, in your white binder in the back is a HIPAA form. If you want to get that out and fill it out, that would be great. Also, it's back. Let me see, guys. It's actually behind the second tab. It's the HIPAA form. And then you have HIPAA authorization. And then, guys, I got this off of Quizlet. It's jurisprudence. That is the one part of the state board. Here's some questions that they're going to hit on for the jurisprudence part of state board. And that's what all of chapter 2 is about. Okay. That's in your binder as well. And then risk assessment checklist. Have medical records been set up for all employees? Do they include records of hepatitis B? So look through that. Okay. Um, so HIPAA protects the patient from anybody seeing their personal information. Um, when we're in the operatory, kind of, not whisper, but talk softly so the patient next to you doesn't hear what's being talked about. Okay. Keeping it private. Personal qualities. Most people do not enjoy a visit to the dental office. Nope, they do not. And they are stressed, they're intimidated, they're scared. Uh, so the dental assist, us as a dental assistants, we must show them, sympathy, uh, show empathy, say the right thing at the right time. Sorry, guys. But anyway, so we need to just be bubbly because they're scared, you know. A lot of times patients are going to be on their phone just to kind of use that as a distraction. Um, but when we're talking to our patients, in on your computer, if whatever computer system that they use, whether it's Demtrix, EagleSoft is another one, you can put personal notes in there. Like if your patient said, "Oh yeah, my cat had kittens." Well, 6 months later, when they come back, you can ask about those kittens. Like, "Hey, so did you keep any of those kittens?" And they're like, "Oh my gosh, you remembered." And you're like, Yeah, you didn't. You put it in your notes. But anyway, that's building a good rapport with your patients. Being sympathetic. They're like, "Oh my God, I've been up for 3 days with this toothache," and you're like, "I'm so sorry. I know that hurts. Oh my gosh, I know it hurts, but I'm glad you're here. We're going to take good care of you." Just reassure them. You know, dental offices, they'll have blankets because we like to keep it cold in dental offices. Offer them a blanket, you know, um, things like that. Just show sympathy and sensitivity. Um, Ethics and laws. So, laws are written to indicate the minimum standard of required behavior. Ethics are voluntary or high standards. Difference between ethics and laws, and we'll discuss this when we go to our live video tomorrow. Ethics deal with the moral conduct, right and wrong behavior, good and evil. Ethics include values, high standard of conduct, and a personal obligation in our interaction with other professionals and patients. Very few absolutes and many gray areas exist regarding ethics. So, ethics, we know not to steal, right? So, some people do. Well, then the law gets involved. So, ethics refer to what you should do, the law refers to what you must do. Okay? Excuse me with this cough. I do not have the virus. Excuse me. Allergies. Laws can be divided into criminal laws and civil laws. Criminal law involves crimes against society. For example, a dental assistant who performs a procedure that is not legal is in violation of criminal law. Insurance fraud is another example of criminal offense that may be committed in a dental office. Um, Civil law involves crimes against another individual. So, for example, a patient sues the doctor because they don't think that the dentist did a very good job. Um, so, when someone sues another person, that's civil. Just think of it this way: act civil towards each other. So they're suing each other. That's civil. Um, Civil law. Criminal law is actually committing a crime. Legal aspects of dentistry, regulations regarding dental assistants vary greatly from state to state. Having a clear understanding of the law in your state is important. So it basically says what we can and cannot do in the state of Texas. Okay. So, like we cannot permanently cement a crown on. That is illegal. We cannot do that. Some states, dental assistants can't take x-rays. In Texas, we can take x-rays. So understanding what we can and cannot do in the state of Texas is what's important for this jurisprudence part of state board. Okay. That handout that's in your binder, it tells you what we can and cannot do. It really lists everything. The State Dental Practice Act, to protect the public from incompetent dental health care providers, each state has established a Dental Practice Act. The Dental Practice Act specifies legal requirements for the practice of dentistry within that state, like what we can and cannot do. So the State Dental Practice Act, okay, the laws. Now, the State Board of Dentistry, an agency usually called the State Board of Dentistry or the Dental Board, is responsible for enforcing the State Dental Practice Act within that state. The members of the State Board of Dentistry are appointed by the governor of that state. Now, guys, I do, and I would love for y'all to look up who the governor, if you don't know, and a lot of people don't, but I would love for y'all to look up who is the governor of the state of Texas. Then, like now, and then I want you to look up the two governors of the state of Texas before him. So you'll be really surprised who one of them was if you don't already know. So I would like for y'all to look that up, and then when we talk on Wednesday, y'all can tell me. Okay? All right. So the State Board of Dentistry is made up of 15 members. That is on state board. So it's made up of 15 members. Anywhere from dental assistants, dental hygienists, and public members, and dentists. The State Board of Dentistry has the authority not only to issue you your license, so give you your license, but they also can take it away and suspend it. Some of the reasons how this could happen is if you get arrested, DWI. If you get arrested, that is, if you have a felony, they won't issue you your license, or they can take it away if you have it and then you get a felony. So it's very important that we don't lose our license. So most states will take action if the licensed person has a felony. So and each 15 members of the board are each serves 6 years. Each serves 6 years. So, and that's on state board too. Okay. So each member of the board, they serve 6 years. A licensure is having a license. So at the end of this course, y'all will be a licensure. You'll carry a license. When you start a job, they're going to want your license so they can hang it on the wall. Because when state board comes in to check on that office, they want to see it hanging on the wall, your license. When do we renew our license? Say you took your state test today. Well, so you get your license, the date that's on your license, say it says today's date. Well, 2 years from now, it used to be every year, now it's every 2 years. They will send you a postcard in the mail, and you go online and you renew your license. Okay. You'll have to pay a little fee. I forget how much it is, $40, I think. But you'll renew your license every 2 years from the date that you got it. All right. So I'm on page 15. This word is a little tongue twister. Reciprocity is an agreement between 2 or more states that allows a dentist or a dental hygienist who is licensed in one state to practice in another state. So you know how Texas and Oklahoma bump up to each other? Well, so if a dentist or a hygienist practice in the state of Texas and they move to Oklahoma, they don't have to take Oklahoma state test. But it's only for dentists and hygienists. It's not for assistants. So if you move to Oklahoma, you would have to take Oklahoma state test. So, unfortunately. All right, levels of dental auxiliary supervision. So, a patient of record is an individual who has been examined and diagnosed by a licensed dentist and has his or her treatment plan. So, a patient of record means that they've actually been to the office and the doctor has seen them. Okay. Um, and then a patient, well, you know what a patient is. Direct supervision. So, direct supervision generally means the dentist has delegated a specific procedure to be performed for a patient and recorded by a legally qualified dental auxiliary who meets the requirements at the State Board of Dentistry. The dentist must examine the patient before delegating the procedure again, and when the procedure is completed, the dentist must physically be present in the office when he delegates a specific procedure. So he might say, Jessica, I want you to go into Op2 with Miss Jones, and I want you to whatever. So you would go in there and do it, and then he would come and check your work. So he physically has to be in the office because if you didn't do it right, he can correct it or fix it. So direct supervision means he literally sees what you did. He told you to do something, you do it, and then he checks your work. Okay? Indirect supervision or general supervision, the dentist does not have to be in the office. So if you were at lunch at the office in the break room and a patient came in and they lost their temporary crown, you could re-cement it without the doctor being there. All right. Unlicensed practice of dentistry. You'll have this highlighted and it's state board. As a dental assistant, you may legally perform only the functions that have been delegated to you under the Dental Practice Act of the state in which you practice. Performing procedures that are not legal is the same as practicing dentistry without a license, which is known as a criminal act. Ignorance of the Dental Practice Act is no excuse for illegally practicing dentistry, and it is a third-degree felony if you do so. A third-degree felony. There was a guy that was a dentist in Mexico, and he moved here, and he became a dental assistant. Well, there was a patient that he told that he could do some work on them at night, and if they wanted to pay him under the table, he would do it cheaper than what the doctor was saying he could do it for. So the lady comes and has the work done by this dental assistant, and so months later, the dental work that he did was shoddy, was bad work, and so she said that she was going to sue the dentist, and the dentist was like, "What are you talking about? I didn't do any of this." And she said, "No, your assistant did." Well, so she was trying to sue the doctor. They went to try to find the dentist or the dental assistant, and he was gone. No one has been able to find him. But once they find him, they are going to prosecute him because he illegally was doing dental work. So it happens. It happens more than you know. It's crazy. So, certified dental assistant and a registered dental assistant. So you will become a registered dental assistant for the state of Texas. Certified dental assistant, that's nationwide. So you would never become a certified dental assistant. Because in the state of Texas, you have to be a registered dental assistant. So registered dental assistant is state, and certified dental assistant is nationwide. So, but most states are registered dental assistants. So risk management. Risk management refers to the concept and technique that members of the dental team can use to help prevent a malpractice lawsuit. Major areas of risk management and prevention of malpractice lawsuits, maintaining accurate and complete records. So on Monday, I hope to go live and we can learn how to chart. Okay. Um, and so we'll get into that. And then also when you're taking notes, if the doctor said, oh, well, you need a filling, um, it is a lot of decay. It's pretty deep. You might need a root canal. I won't know until I get in there and start taking out the decay. But right now it's a filling, but it could turn into a root canal. We need to make sure all those notes are written down because the patient could come back and say, you never said anything like that. And but yes, we did. It's there in the notes. A consent form. So anytime that we do work on a patient, we have to have a consent form saying, yes, we're going to do a filling on tooth number 13. And by the way, we have 32 teeth in our head. So our teeth are numbered. But we'll get into that on Friday, Monday. Okay. So, where was I? So anyway, so a consent form. So they have to sign this form saying, yes, I allow you to do this filling on me. And just maintaining the most high professional standard of care that we can give. Okay. Avoiding malpractice lawsuits, a treatment plan. So anytime that a patient comes in, the doctor's going to diagnose what's wrong. Then a treatment plan is created. The patient will sign the treatment plan. It doesn't mean that they agree to do the treatment or that they're going to pay for all of it, but it does mean that we went over what they need and they sign it saying, okay, yes, the dentist or the assistant went over what treatment needs to be done. So getting the treatment plan signed, and it has to be signed before we can even do any work on them. Responsible treatment results. So, we're going to do this filling. It should, take care of the decay and then restore your tooth back to natural. Explaining the procedure to the patient. Any complications that might happen from a procedure, we need to let them know of them. Kind of like if you went to the hospital and it was like, well, you sign a consent form and it's always at the end, you might die. So anyway, but yeah, so we always have to let them know any kind of complications. And then financial obligations. Who is going to pay us? Because I don't know if y'all know this, guys, but in dental, some offices work off a bonus system. So say the goal for the month is $5,000 and y'all go over goal, then whatever money's left over after the 5,000 gets divided up into the staff once a month. And so I have a friend, she makes a $500 bonus almost every month. It's awesome. But not every offices do the bonus, but it is nice. But it's because we need to make sure who's going to pay us, because if we need insurance or them to pay us, that way, if you do work off a bonus program, you'll definitely get a bonus. And we also get free dental care for us and your immediate family. So that means legal husband and legal kids. Like you have the kids. So, yeah. So, that's another perk about the dental field is you get free dental work. All right. Silence is golden. Okay. You're going to have patients that will come in sometimes and they'll be like, oh yeah, I went to Dr. Smith and they were horrible. You can't go, oh yeah, girl, I heard. They, they stink. You cannot say that. You have to say, well, you know what? I'm so sorry you had that bad experience. I'm glad you're here. We're going to take really good care of you. Okay? So we cannot talk. Silence is golden. So we cannot talk crap about another office or doctor. And you cannot talk bad about your doctor. Doctors sometimes are not nice. I'm just going to let you know. They're a different breed. Um, but sometimes they're not nice. And so, have I cried? Yes, I have cried. I have been in the bathroom bawling my eyes out. So, but I sucked it up and went back. But uh, don't let your patients know that your doctor is a jerk sometimes. So, yeah. Okay. Informed patient consent. We talked about that. Giving consent. Giving consent means, that they, number one, they came into the office, so they're giving consent for us to work on them or see them. And then we have the written consent when we actually do the work. There's a informed refusal form where, so some of your elderly patients can't afford x-rays every 6 months when they get their teeth cleaned. They're real good about getting their teeth cleaned every 6 months, but they can't afford the x-rays every 6 months. So they'll sign a refusal form saying, not this time, I don't want x-rays this time. So, and we have to explain to them why it's important for x-rays. Because it could be they have a cavity and in 6 months, down the road, it could turn into a root canal. So we have to let them know when they sign the refusal form, what possible things could occur. All right. Documenting informed consents. So we have to document everything. If we take x-rays, consent form, if we give prescriptions, everything has to be documented in their record. And their record is known as their chart. Okay? All of y'all, most of y'all are going to be digital. So you'll be on the computer and you'll put all your notes into the computer, which will be nice. Used to, with a chart, if I was writing on the chart and I made a mistake, I would just draw one line through it and put my initials. Well, now you just hit backspace. So, anyway, but that's how you would correct a record, is one line and your initials. Financial information is never a part of the chart. Okay. Who owns the chart, the x-rays? The doctor. Patients can have copies, but they can never have the original documents ever. But they can have copies. All right. So active omission and active commission. So think of it this way. Active commission, I think of like I'm literally committing harm to someone. Active omission is, well, I knew I shouldn't have done it, but I did it anyway. So active commission is you're actually harming someone. Like if the dentist gave too much anesthetic and he knew that he was giving too much anesthetic to a patient and he knew it was going to harm them, that's active commission. So that's an example. If we ever see child abuse, guys, we can report it. And it's called regeste, and it means that the silence is golden again. Regeste means that. And that we won't get in trouble for reporting it. So, but I always, if I suspect something, I always tell the doctor, and I let the doctor make the phone calls that he needs to. So, but I just make the doctor aware, like, hey, you might want to check out whatever you might see. Immunity. So we do get immunity. The immunity means that the dental assistant cannot be sued for reporting suspicions in the attempt to protect a child. Good to know. Well, guys, on the, excuse me, on chapter 18, page 18, uh, there are all of your American Dental Assistants Association. That's an association that you can join so you can have a voice. And then, oh, well, that the American Dental Association, that is an association that the dentist joins so he can have a voice. And then ours is the American Dental Assistants Association, so we can have a voice. So just read that. CDC, we all know what CDC is right now. OSHA. OSHA protects us as the employee. So if OSHA comes in to our dental office, they're going to make sure, is the dentist providing us with all our personal protective equipment, PPE, mask, gloves, protective eyewear. Okay. And FDA, it's Food and Drug Administration, like toothpaste. From the back of it, it says FDA approved. So if we swallow it, we ain't gonna die. So, all right, guys. I hope that was informative. Please read this chapter twice. Go on Quizlet if you want to do like a little practice. But definitely in that binder, in your binder, are those Quizlet questions, and kind of study those. And if you're not sure what it means, Google it. Google. So, all right. I'll see y'all tomorrow live. Bye, guys.